Meanwhile, no respite for Nigerian bourse as the all-share index continues to dip further. Rotimi, Fakayejo, Managing Director of Enterprise Capital Partners, joins me to review the trading day. Thank you so much, Rotimi. It's a pleasure to have you.
Welcome again.
Another bearish trading day for the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The index down over 2%, bringing it losses this week close to 5%. We're talking earlier about the bearish economic data that the market has had to digest, and perhaps there's some positives today, sir. Stocks that are trading cheap now, cheaper valuations. What stocks can investors, because while we see investors selling off, others are buying apparently. So let's talk about those stocks that investors are still staking money in.
Yeah, at this time there are ample opportunities that investors can actually take in the market right now. There are some stocks whose fundamentals are very sound. And among such, we have Nigerian breweries, we have Zenith Bank, we have GT Bank, we have Access. And I think, to me, Dangote Cement is equally one of the stocks one can really look at, because we see that it keeps expanding all over Africa, and also the home demand is still very much growing. So, and I think looking at the trend for Dangote Cement in the last 2 years, it's really been a very trendy one that investors can actually hang on to and be able to get enough value for one's investment.
But it's not exactly a cheap stock. I mean, is it a stock that investors can, even at the current price, it's taken some beating in the last couple of sessions, but is it at a good entry point at the moment?
Well, at 168 today, as at the last time I was in the market, I think, to me, to a great extent, this is a stock that has done as much as 250 naira at a time. So if you look at it that way, and I think as at that time too, the profitability of that company isn't what we are seeing today. So it's not as much. So I believe 168, or even is going to, if the market is going to come down a little more, maybe like 165, 160 is a fantastic buy for Dangote Cement. Okay. And I believe investors will definitely take a close look at it.
Okay, good entry point. Nigerian breweries, I mean, it's a tricky market for Nigerian breweries. It's facing competition. It's having to play more aggressively in the value end of the market. A few days ago, I saw some new products from MB, some sorry?
From Guinness.
No, not from Guinness. Some products to aimed at appealing to the female gender, let me put it that way. So I said to myself, okay, so they're looking to be more creative, looking to diversify more of their value products. But competition is still out there. So is this still a stock? I mean, you obviously you like the stock, but looking at the environment, the industry that this stock plays in, it's still full of headwinds.
Well, I think looking at the economy generally, the headwind is there in every sector, except maybe in the banking sector, where we are seeing it creating an aberration relative to what is happening in the economy. We're seeing maybe slightly lower demand, or the demand is not growing, and at the same time, we want to tag that to the general economy. If you look at other stocks within the food and beverage sector, we are also seeing a downward gross earning. So I think for Nigerian bureaus at this price, I still want to believe it's cheap. The valuation is very cheap, and I believe investors can actually take advantage. One thing that is very key as at this time is that whosoever is buying right now, even if there's a further dip in the price of that particular security, they should just look away. I think it's high time begin to play the market the way it is, which is long-term.
Long-term.
Investor, I will have so much speculative trading within the market. At least that has caused a lot of instability and volatility. But I believe going forward, whoever is staying put with a particular stock for a period of 12, 18 months, then definitely the person will have a better bet for it. Okay,
but do you think that, I mean, there are several categories of players in this market. One key player in this market are the foreign investors. They can, I suppose, hold a long-term view, but they need to see some concrete. They need to see policies that they know will strengthen the economy going forward. And many times they look at what's going in the short term. And in the short term, our short term today, there's still a policy gap. But we're told that in the next 1 or 2 weeks, we could actually see a cabinet being announced by the fiscal authorities. But so do you think that for them, they are willing to play long term?
Well, I think all along, majority of them have not been playing long term. if we look at the trend, the comparison of foreign transactions and local transactions, the volatility is more for foreign transactions. And I think in the wake of the general elections, we saw a lot of capital flight. Then also after then, in the wake of further devaluation of the Naira, we saw a lot of capital flight. So they took, majority of them liquidated their portfolio, believing that when Naira gets further devalued, at least they will have more Naira when they are converting their dollars. And I think they are still staying away, believing that the right pricing for the right exchange rate for Naira is still not yet there.
Okay, so they believe that the true value of the Naira, we're still not seeing the true value
still not seeing the true value of the Naira. So until maybe that is established, maybe going forward with the steps that the new government has taken, and also maybe the kind of economic policies is going to come up with, they may begin to shift their attention from playing short term to at least medium term to long term. And I think maybe we're not going to see any election in Nigeria until 2019. And I think that also will give room for anyone that really wants to play very well and very deep on long-term basis in the market. Okay,
a market for the long-term investor. Thank you so much, Rotimi, for sharing that with us. Pleasure having you in the studio today.